he decided that he would make the world without any member of the Jadu dynasty. In other words, he decided that since Krsna has killed Kansa, therefore the whole dynasty should be killed. On this decision, he began to make huge arrangements to attack the kingdom of Mathura with his innumerable Okhavani Sena. Okhavani Sena means a company of military flanks consisting of many thousands of chariots, many thousands of horses, many thousands of elephants, and many thousands of infantry soldiers. Jarasandha possessed such 13 batches of military plans, and in order to retaliate the death of Kansa, he took with him all his military strength and attacked the capital of the Jadu kings, Mathura, surrounding it from all directions. Sri Krishna, who appeared as an ordinary human being, apparently saw the immense military strength of Jarasandha as if it was just like the ocean which could cover the beach at any moment. He also perceived that the inhabitants of Mathura were overwhelmed with fear out of the military display of Jarasandha, who attacked Mathura from all sides. Now he began to think within himself the mission of his incarnation and how to tackle with the present situation before him. He thought it wise that he was not going to conquer over the kingdom of Magad. Therefore, to kill the king of Magad, namely Jarasandha, was useless. Better, his mission was to diminish the overburdened population of the world. So he took it an opportunity that so many men, chariots, elephants, horses, the military strength of Jarasandha had appeared before him, and he decided to kill the military strength of Jarasandha, so that he would again go back and attempt organizing another military strength. When Lord Krishna was thinking like that, at that time, two beautiful chariots full with a driver, weapons, flags, and other equipment just arrived before him. From the outer space, Krishna saw the two chariots present before him. He immediately addressed his eldest brother, Balaram, who is known as Sankarsan also, and began to address him as follows. "My dear elder brother, you are the best amongst the Aryans. You are the Lord of the universe. Specifically, you are the protector of the Jadu dynasty, who has now greatest danger in front of the soldiers of Jarasandha. That they are very much agreed of the circumstances just to give them proper protection. Your chariot is also present here, which is also full with necessary weapons for you. Therefore, I request you to sit down on your chariot and kill all these soldiers and military strength of the enemy. Actually, both of us have descended on this earth just to kill such unnecessary assembly of military strength and to give protection to the pious devotees. So we have now the opportunity to fulfill our mission. Please let us execute it. That's Krsna and Balaram, the descendants of the Datharaha king, decided to finish the 13 companies of military strength of Jarasandha, and they equipped themselves with military dress, got up on their chariot. Krishna was specifically being on the chariot on which Daruk was the driver. Whatever a small quantity of military strength they possessed, they took with them and came out of the city of Mathura and began to show their respective counsels. But curiously enough, although the other party was equipped with greater military strength, still just after hearing the vibration of the counsel of Krishna, they were threatened to their heart. Jarasandha, when he saw both Rama and Krishna, he was a little bit compassionate because both Krishna and Balaram happened to be in a relationship his grandson. Jarasandha specifically addressed Krishna as Purushadham. Actually, Krishna is officially known in our Vedic literature as Purusha Uttam. Jarasandha, although he had no such intention to address Krishna as Purushottam, but great scholars, they derive the meaning of Purushadham as one who makes all other personalities downwards. Actually, nobody can be equal or greater than the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Now, Jarasandha continued to say that it will be a great dishonor for him that he would fight with boys like Krishna and Balaram. He addressed specifically to Krishna because he actually killed Kamsa. So he addressed him as the killer of the relative. Kamsa killed so many of his nephews, but Jarasandha did not take notice of it. But Krishna, because he killed his maternal uncle Kamsa, he tried to criticize him. That is the way of demoniac dealing. Demons do not find out their own faults, but try to find out the fault of their other friends. Jarasandha also criticized Krishna that he was not even a Kshatriya. Krishna, being raised by Maharaj Nanda, was not a Kshatriya but a Vaishya. Vaishyas are generally called Guptas. Also the word Gupta can be used as hidden. So Krishna was both hidden by Nanda Maharaj, and as Nanda Maharaj happened to be a Vaishya king, so he was raised by him. And Jarasandha accused Krishna with three kinds of faults, namely that he killed his own maternal uncle, and he was not even a Kshatriya, therefore he felt ashamed to fight with him. Now he turns to Balaram and addresses him, you Rama, if you like, you can fight with him. And if you have got patience, then you can wait for being killed by my arrows. Thus you can be promoted to him. It is stated in the scripture, as well as in the Bhagavad Gita, that a Kshatriya, while fighting, becomes benefited. Always, if a Kshatriya gains victory over the fight, he enjoys the result of victory, but even if he is killed in the fight, he is promoted in the heavenly kingdom. Next verse, Krsna, after hearing Jarasandha speaking like that, answered, "Dear King Jarasandha, those who are heroes, they do not talk much. They become engaged in showing their prowess. Because you are talking much, it appears that you are assured of his death in this battle. Therefore, we do not care to hear you anymore, because it is useless to hear the words of a person who is going to die, or one who is very much distressed." Now, after this, Jarasandha, in order to fight with Krsna, surrounded him from all sides. His great military strength, and it appeared as the sun is covered by the air with cloud and dust. Time being, similarly, Krsna the sun was covered by the military strength of Jarasandha. Krishna and Balaram's chariot was marked with the picture of Garuda and palm trees. The women population of Mathura city were all on the top of the houses and palaces and gates to see the wonderful fight, that when Krishna's chariot was surrounded by Jarasandha's military strength, they could not find Krishna's chariot, and immediately they became so much aggrieved that some of them fainted. Krishna, when he saw thus overwhelmed by the military strength of Jarasandha, and his small number of soldiers were being harassed by them, he immediately took up his bow of the name of Sranga. Krishna, because he has got the specific bow. Chapter 58 continued. When Krishna took his bow, known as Sranga, he began to take out his arrows from the case and was one after another setting on the string of the bows and throwing towards the enemy, as a result of which gradually all the elephants, horses and infantry soldiers of Jarasandha were continually being killed, and the incessant throwing of arrows by Krishna appeared to be whirlwind of blazing fire, killing all the military strength of Jarasandha. When Krishna was fighting in this way with his arrow, at that time gradually all the elephants began to fall down, cut off their heads. Similarly, all the horses cut off their necks, were falling down, and when the horses fell down, the chariots also, along with their flags, the chariot fighter and the chariot drivers began to fall down, and as far as the infantry soldiers were concerned, almost all of them being cut off their heads and hands and legs began to fall down on the field of the battle. In this way, many thousands of elephants and horses being killed, their blood began to flow down just like the waves of a river. In that river, the hands cut off of the men were appearing like snakes. Their heads appeared like tortoise, and the dead body of the elephant appeared to be different small islands. Similarly, the dead horses also appeared to be like soft pieces. In this way, by the arrangement of the supreme will, there was a big river of blood filled up with all paraphernalia. The hands and legs of the infantry soldiers cut off were floating just like different kinds of fishes. The hairs of the soldiers were floating like seaweeds and moss, and the floating bows of the soldiers appeared to be different waves of the river, and over and above them all the jewelry stones and thrown out from the body of the soldiers and the commanders appeared to be so many pebbles rolling down the river of the blood. Lord Balaram, who is also known as Sankarshan, with his club, he began to fight in such a heroic way that the river of blood created by Krsna still became overflooded. And by seeing the ghastly and horrible scene, those who were cowards, they were very much afraid of, and those who were heroes, they, with great delight, began to talk between themselves about the heroism of the two brothers. The fighting of Lord Krishna Balaram with Jarasandha, equipped with the vast ocean of military strength, and converting the whole situation into such ghastly scene, was not actually an ordinary fighting. People of ordinary merit could not estimate how it could be possible, but when we accept such activities as pastimes of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, under whose will everything could be possible, then we can make an estimate of the great fighting. The Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is creating, maintaining, and dissolving the cosmic manifestation by his will only, for him to create such devastating scene while fighting with an enemy is not a wonderful act. And yet, because Krishna and Balaram were fighting with Jarasandha, just like ordinary human being, the whole affair appeared to be a wonderful action. In this way, when all the soldiers and military strength of Jarasandha were killed, and simply he was living, certainly he became very much depressed. In that stage of his life, Sri Balaramji immediately arrested him, exactly in the manner when one lion captures another lion with great strength. When Lord Balaram was binding Jarasandha with the rope of Varuna and ordinary ropes also, at that time Lord Krishna, with some greater future plan, asked him not to arrest him. When Jarasandha was released in this way by Krsna, Jarasandha, as a great hero of the fighting, became too much ashamed. And then he decided that no more he should live as a king, but he would resign from his position of royal order and go to the forest for practicing meditation under severe austerity and penances. But as he was returning home with some other royal friends, he was advised not to act like that, but to regain strength to fight again with Krsna in the near future. The princely friends of Jarasandha began to instruct him that from ordinary estimation, it was not possible for him to become defeated by the strength of the Jadu kings, but the defeat which he had experienced was simply to his ill luck. Princely order encouraged him that so far his fighting was concerned, it was certainly heroic, and the defeat on account of past misdeeds should not be taken very seriously, because on the part of King Jarasandha there was no fault in the matter of fighting. In this way, Jarasandha, the king of Magad province, when he lost all his strength and he was released from the arrest almost in an insulting manner for the prince, he could do nothing but began to return to his kingdom. In this way, when Lord Krsna conquered over the soldiers of Jarasandha, although his military strength was very little arrangement in comparison to Jarasandha, still not a pinch of his strength was lost, whereas all the strength of Jarasandha were killed. At that time, the denizens of heaven became very much pleased and began to offer their respect to the Lord by showers of flowers and chanting glorification of the Lord. They accepted the victory of the Lord with great appreciation. When Jarasandha returned back and everything was made safe from the danger of Mathura city being imminently attacked, at that time the citizens of Mathura organized the combined service of professional singers like Sutas, Madadha, and poets who could compose nice songs. And in this way, the citizens began to chant the victory glorification of Lord Krsna. When Lord Krsna was entering the city after the victory, that time many bugles, concerts, kettle drums began to be sounded, and vibration of various musical instruments like bheri, turi, veena, flutes, and mridanga, all of them joined together made a beautiful reception for Lord Krsna. While Krsna was entering the city, the whole city was very much cleansed and sprinkled with water all over the different streets and roads, and the inhabitants, being too much engladdened, decorated their respective houses, stores and shops with flags and festoons everywhere. The Brahmins were chanting Vedic mantras at different places. The people, out of curiosity, constructed different graves at different crossings of roads and entrances of lanes and streets. When Lord Krsna was entering the city of Mathura, so nicely decorated in a festive attitude, that time the ladies and the girls of Mathura, in order to make the ceremony most auspicious, prepared different kinds of garlands of flowers. And as it is the Vedic custom, they took sugar mixed with freshly grown green grasses and began to strew them here and there to make the victory jubilation more auspicious. Krishna was passing through the street. All the ladies and women began to see him with great affection and brightening eyes. Krishna and Balaram also collected various kinds of booties, ornaments and jewels from the battlefield. And after collecting them carefully, he brought them home and presented to the king, Ugrasen. Krishna thus offered his respect in the victory celebration to his grandfather, because he was at that time the crowned king of the Jadu dynasty. Jarasandha, the king of Magad, not only seized the city of Mathura once, but he attacked it for 17 times in the same way, equipped with the same number of military phalanxes, and each and every time he was defeated similarly. All his soldiers and military strength were killed by Krishna, and he had to return disappointed in the same way. The princely order of the Jadu dynasty each time arrested Jarasandha in the same way, again released him in an insulting manner. Jarasandha also shamelessly returned back home every time without being ashamed. Next paragraph. When eighth attack by Jarasandha was being attempted, in the meantime, another Mohammedan kingdom, somewhere on the southern part of Mathura, or the kingdom of the Jadus, became attracted by the opulence of the Jadu dynasty, and he also attacked the city of Mathura. It is said that the king of the Javans, of the Mohammedans, known as
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Hare Krishna, Kalpesh, Prabhu. So,
Hare Krishna.
Dhanvat Pranam, all goes to Srila Prabhupada, Guru Maharaj ki jai. So, today we have, that Rath Yatra in the New York, and that's what all the devotees went to the New Yatra, or attending the New Yatra for Jagannath, Baldev, Subhadra, Maharani. But we had today, to play the Prabhupada lecture.
Yeah.
And so we'll be concluding. So, Prabhu, if you have got, any concrete point, so we can have, just for a comment for a few seconds, and we'll end the session. So, do you want to share something from the audio?
No, I appreciate you playing this audio I was not aware that this class was today audio, but I will ask my wife. Do you have any questions?
No, this is really nice. I think we didn't listen from the very start, but whatever I listened, yeah, I can take that how the Jarasan kind of personality look the faults in others. As one of the point I remember, he was criticizing Lord for killing the Kansa, but he did not notice that the Kansa killed the nephews. So this is what his personality is, a personality of evil kind.
The essence is looking forward at others. Should not be.
Yes.
It's against the saintly qualities. So Prabhuji, in that case, through your experiences, if somebody is not a devotee,
Right.
okay, so and our intention would be somehow hello, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Yeah.
Okay.
Please go ahead.
So what I was trying to see, sometimes we see in our daily life, we come across so many situations which are unlikely, and probably sometimes unfavorable. But we think that that person should also get the knowledge of the God. In that case, is that judgment is okay, or we have to what are the higher qualities we need to practice? I came across in past Bhagavatam. Sometime if people are not they are envious towards you, then probably the best idea is stay compassionated at that time. But I wanted to seek your advice, being you practicing the Krishna consciousness for over a long period of time. I'm sure in everybody's life this situation comes, and what are the way of thinking during that time, or we should be not thinking about, and if we don't think about it, then how are we transferring this knowledge to the people who are not awakened, or sometimes they may get by constant feeding and information. So I mean, can you sorry,
Yeah. I got your question, Prabhuji, and the comment you trying to ask. So it is like like in your question itself there is the answer. So if we have to just bring out and and to understand and then to practice. The question you asked, like if the things are not favorable, whether mostly related to bhakti or in any circumstances in our even in material life also, how we should reciprocate, and so how we should be compassionate, so there is a saranagati, and saranagati we have to do to the Krishna through the association. Now we have the association, and we are having Nityam Bhagavad Seva, daily association with devotee. This is strengthened. So why I said like in the question itself there is the answer. So like the things which are not favorable, like we have to try to regulate it to make it favorable. How to do that? That will come over the period of time with the association.
Mm.
So I mentioned the term Saranagati. We have to surrender, ourselves to the Krishna. Surrender here means that just to, do the loving devotional service to the Krishna. So there is there is a mention for the Saranagati, that is the Anukulasya Sankalpaha Pratikulasya Varjanam. So Anukulasya Sankalpaha means Anukulasya, whatever favorable to the bhakti or to the Krishna, that we have to sankalp, we have to accept, and Pratikulasya Varjana, what is unfavorable, we have to remove, we have to give up. So that's the essence. And then Anukulasya Sankalpaha Pratikulasya Varjana Rakshati Visvaso. We have to always keep faith on Krishna. First, it develops from the Shraddha. First, we have the Shraddha that Krishna is the Supreme, Krishna is the maintainer, Krishna is the provider for everything. So we have to make it to the faith, a strong faith, that believe that, yeah, Krishna will protect me, Krishna is the maintaining me, Krishna is providing everything. So Rakshati Visvaso Goptrite Varnam Tatha. So Goptrite Varnam Tatha, again Krishna is maintaining us. So by that way, so Anukulasya Sankalpaha, that means whatever favorable, how we can make the favorable. Suppose our house is there, so we can make the environment of like bhakti related to Krishna deity, and then we can serve Krishna, or even in any manner we have to connect with that. Even though in the work hours also, whatever the working 8 hours, that is fine, then we have to connect to the Krishna. In short, in between we have to remember Krishna. To do that, how we can do that? By this association. So those Mahajana and Gatavasa Pantha, those who are pure devotees, senior devotees, if we follow them, how they are doing, how they are practicing, that we will learn. And to understand that how they practice that, and who are the devotee, who are the senior devotees. So there is again verse in the Bhagavatam that Titiksha Kaurika Suhrida Sarvadehina Ajat Satrava Santa Sadhava Sadhubhusana. Titiksha. So they should have tolerant. They should be very tolerant. They should not be agitated by little things come up, and so they should be tolerant. Titiksha Karunika. They should be kind, and they should be soft-hearted. Titiksha Karunika. They should have karuna, not karuna. They should, we understand the karuna, right?
Yes.
The Titiksha Karunika Suhirda Sarvadehina. So they should be soft-hearted. Suhirda, that should be, they should be soft-hearted. Suhirda Sarvadehina, and they should shower mercy to everyone. Suhirda Sarvadehina, Sarvadehina. Then Ajat Satrava Santa. Ajat Satrava, they should not be envious to anyone, and anyone should not be envious to him. So if he is having these all quality, obviously people will not envy him, or he will not envy to the others. So these are the words Sadhava Sadhu Bhusana. So these are the qualities of a devotee, quality of a sadhu. Then to those who are having this kind of quality, we can surrender to, we can follow him, and he can make us to, reach to the Krishna. He can, in that way he can tend to the Krishna, means we will be on the right path, that is the correct association. So this starts from this association, Nityam Bhagavat Sevaya, where we learn these all things, and then we start practicing. So by that way, unfavorable things will become favorable, but it takes time. Over the period of time only everything happens, and same time there will be, when we do all these endeavor, Krishna showers the mercy, and then things happens favorably.
Yep. No, makes sense. Yeah.
Prabhuji, I just wanted to know about the association. So far the association, we are taking the classes in the morning, but how we can get more association? Like, is there any other activity that we can get engaged? So I'm just trying to understand in terms of staying connected with the pure devotees.
Yeah, when we talk association, that means first we look for this. You are on the right way that you are doing this Nityam Bhagavat Seva. That is the Srila Prabhupada said this is the first and most thing. Second thing, you start exploring wherever you are living. So from there, how far is the temple? Depending upon your time, in the weekend, Saturday, Sunday, whether you can reach to that temple, especially ISKCON temple, that so that in the same, knowing that Isvara Param Krishna Sachidananda Vigraha, so you can have the deity darshan. Once you have the deity darshan, when you start looking from the lotus feet of Krishna, and so eyes will be, get see, we are the soul, mame vanso jiva loko. So our constitutional position is with Krishna. So we want to see from our eyes Krishna. We want to hear the nectar about Krishna that we are already doing. We want to see the deity form of the Krishna, so that you will have to see from your eye. Then you will smell the, that incense. So that is also part of. So that way mercy comes from Krishna. So meaning is you will have to explore where is the ISKCON temple nearby. Second thing, in your once you go to ISKCON temple, therefrom you can explore, like in your surrounding, in your area, 5 miles, 10 miles, where is the Bhakti Vriksha of the ISKCON. So Bhakti Vriksha of the ISKCON, you can note down the term. If you are already knowing that, then very good. Or you can note down Bhakti Vriksha. So do you remember in the
Sorry, Prabhuji. Bhakti, what spelling? What Briksh?
Vriksha means Brikshha. Vriksha means tree. So Bhakti Vriksha.
Briksha.
Oh, it's a Hindi word,
Briksh.
Briksh.
You know Briksh? So Briksh means in here Vriksha. Bhakti Vriksha. So Bhakti tree. So Bhakti tree we do not give
Vriksha.
down here. Bhakti Vriksha.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah. So once you go to the temple, from the temple you feel those who are active devotees. So from them you can ask, like, I live in this area. Where can you guide me? Where is the this Bhakti Vriksha running? And somebody will guide you. So in Bhakti Vriksha, what happens is you will get one-on-one interaction, and you can explore more about Krishna. And you can first, as I told, like, you can see even on the Google map also, like, where is the ISKCON temple. So even though, see, we also go after 40 minutes of driving to the ISKCON temple, and every weekend we must go, and adding to the festivals and everything. So that way we can regulate our association. That is the best way to do. So 2 things you have to follow. First, check that where is the ISKCON temple, and even though within 1 hour of driving you go there once in a week, there is no harm. Especially on the Sunday, there is the Sunday feast program in the ISKCON temple. And on that time, more and more devotee will be going there. So you will have good personal association, and then they will guide you about the Bhakti Vriksha. There you can get one-on-one interaction.
So basically, what happens in the Bhakti Vriksha, just interaction is just a discussion on the Bhagavatam, or is it something beyond that?
Yeah, so Bhakti Vriksha is the pattern. There is, like the same pattern as the temple, but it will be a smaller scale. So in the Bhakti Vriksha, there will be Bhakti Vriksha leader who manage that. Suppose say generally on Friday evening, here in the material way, they make happy hours. So
Yes.
for Krishna conscious people, that is the Krishna consciousness hour. That is the happy hours, because the real happiness is the eternity, and like full of bliss, full of ananda. So that is the real happy that should last forever. So on Friday there is a schedule in every Bhakti Vriksha for 2 to 3 hours evening time, and there will be first kind of chanting for one round, 15 minutes. Then there will be kirtan for half an hour. Then there will be discourse like this Nityam Bhagavad Sevaya you are doing. And at the end there will be feast. So these four things are very important in every Bhakti Vriksha. These are common. So you can note down. First is the chanting for 15 minutes, minimum one round. Second is for after chanting there is the kirtan, and for half an hour. Then third is the discourse of the Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatam, any topic, and then fourth is the prasadam, which is very important. Like prasadam, by eating the prasadam, we get purified.
Yeah. So generally, this I'm just assuming this would be occurring at somebody's apartment or
Exactly.
home.
So
Okay,
it's a Bhakti Vriksha leader who will be having again association of 10-15 devotees, or not, depending upon number, maybe some if it is a larger scale, then 20-25 also, or 5 to 6 also, depending. So they all will decide. There will be group, and they all will decide, where to and which place this Sunday, this Friday will be happening, and all will be going there. Somebody will make something, somebody will make something, or only Bhakti Vriksha leader will be making everything. Means Adam, it all will be coordinated.
Coordinated, yes, got it.
Yeah.
No, thank you. This is really
Thank you,
insightful, and yeah. Okay.
This way, like if you remember when we were talking about Narad Muni also got association of Bhakti Vedantas, and he learned everything, and then he got the darshan of Krishna. So this we are copying the same thing which is written in Shastra. So Bhakti Vriksha is there, as Narad Muni was in the association of Bhakti Vedantas. So here in the Bhakti Vriksha also, one Bhakti Vriksha leader will be there who will be active participant in the temple. Everything driven from temple. We have to make sure Bhakti Vriksha is not individual entity. It is again extended from the temple. So all devotee will have going to the temple on Sunday. So and all they are getting inspiration from the temple itself. All devotees are getting inspiration from the temple itself. What is going in the temple, and based upon that they will schedule and they will do in the Bhakti Vriksha accordingly. So main our source is the center point is the temple. So one temple is in center, and after that 3 to 4, 5 Bhakti Vrikshas are there. So depending upon the local areas. So that way the association will develop. And when this we are talking, this is the personal association of we are talking. Another association which you are already doing, that is the Nityam Bhagavad Sevaya. Third association you can do is the like hearing the nectars, other nectars from the authenticated, like some pure devotees or Maharaj or Guru Varga. So from the YouTube you can search that, like that way on particular topic, which topic you can start hearing whatever you feel. Suppose currently it is going about the discussion after Bhisma. It is Kunti Maharani prayers, then Bhisma prayers, then further we are discussing after that. So these all things you can search in that YouTube also, and you can hear. So that is what Prabhupada said, 24/7 devotion to the Krishna. This way we can do as much as possible. So that's the overall association, Prabhu.
Yes, no, I really appreciate. It took a lot of your time. Thank you.
Thank you,
Hare
Prabhuji.
Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
Today, Vanchakaltaruvasya Kripa Sindhu Vayocha Patitanam Pamanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namah. Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda ki jai. Srila Prabhupada.